What's up guys, Card Protagonist here, and today I'll be doing a brand new deck profile on the Narukami Vmax deck. You guys have been requesting for a long time, so I'm here with my friend Colin and he managed to borrow me his deck. So today I'll be doing an awesome deck profile with it, so I use too much awesome. But Vmax is awesome because he has a lot of potential to retire a lot of rear guards due to the fact that he is a combination of retiring and power up, so it's kind of like Go Paladins with Kagero. I find it really cool because this the rear guards, this guy can make the rear guards hit up to high numbers while retiring stuff to control your opponent's field. So it's a really good controlling deck and against power. So it's a very good all-rounder deck. So let's quickly get on the deck profile. First up, we go on with I'll explain the great trees he plays. So 4 copies of Vanquisher. Vanquisher is basically the heart you want to ride every single time. So whenever you perform strike, so when you strike, you can count +1 and you select one of your opponent's front row and you send it to the bind zone. The bind zone is another key factor for this deck, and it is because for each card in your bind zone, you actually power up all your other rear guards or retire more stuff. So it's very important to keep your opponent's rear guards, opponent's bind zone filled up. So very good card because at the cost of 1 count blast, you're basically getting rid of 1 threat in the front row. So get rid of that E special intercept or some like twin swords. Very good. So second GB2 skill is this one skill.
When a unit retire, gain 3k 1 crit.
Okay, so when the unit is retired, you can gain 3k and 1 crit. Very good as a backup finisher. If you run out of strikes, you can actually use it. But I doubt you run out of strikes because there's so many good strikes in this deck. You never run out of strike before, right? Your deck?
No.
Yo, what? Wow, so it's actually possible to run out of strikes.
In rare instances.
Yeah, so yeah.
That one is super tanky.
Because we play is we a lock deck, right?
No, Lua.
So next up is 3 copies of this this backup grade 3. It's a very good card because it's Thunder Strike 2 activate. Soul Blast 1. This card gives us 2k power and a skill. This guy basically is able to battle 2 cards on your opponent's rear guards. So basically it's like a Soul Blast 1 to retire 2 cards possibly. Either way, your opponent's definitely got a card for 2 cards, so it's losing more hand cards. So it's a very good rear guard attacker. Alright, so that's a grade 3s.
One Vanguard, one Vanguard.
So next up we got grade 2.
Yeah.
4 copies of Dragon thing. Chatura.
I think it's one of the new avatar for Narukami.
Is it?
Yeah. Early game pressure.
Yeah, this is one of the best cards in Narukami because the fact that it gains us 3k power early game. So in the rear guard,
Vanguard attack only.
Huh?
Yes, Vanguard specific.
When you attack the Vanguard, yeah, correct. So basically as a rear guard, when this unit attacks the Vanguard, it gains us 3k power. And when this unit attack hits, you can actually count +1 and draw 1 card and send 1 card from the opponent drop zone to the bind zone. So very good because it helps you set up, it helps to give you 3 cards at the cost of 1 count blast. Usually your opponent will guard this, so it's early game pressure, very important. So 4 copies of Chatura. Now it's 3 copies of Voltage Horn Dragon, if I'm not wrong. Voltage Horn Dragon is basically when this unit is boosted and it attacks the Vanguard, you can your opponent selects one rear guard and retire and bind it. So very good because count blast 1 to retire one stuff your opponent controls. You control. So next up is this. This guy is instead of attacking, when this unit is placed on the rear guard circle, count blast 1 and soul blast 1. And if you have Vanquisher Vanguard, right?
Yes.
If you have Vanquisher Vanguard,
Opponent choose 1 retire.
Okay, your opponent choose 1 and retire and bind.
This
and
unit gain 2k.
Game has 2k, so you can solo it.
Yeah.
So next up we have 2 copies of this. This is a very unique skill because usually we have rear guard skills, but this time it's a Vanguard skill. So when this is reader as a Vanguard, you can count +1, soul blast 1. If you pay the cost, select one of your opponent's front row and retire it, and send it to bind zone. So it's a very good card to ride. So basically it's a blaster blade because you ride it. And yeah, Thunder Strike 2, when this unit attacks during its turn it gains a 3k power. So Thunder Strike 2 is very easy to pull off. Just basically at first strike you can just go to Thunder Strike 2. Thunder Strike 2 is basically 2 cards in the bind zone. So next up, we go on to the great ones. The great ones you have is 4 of this booster. Basically what it does is, whenever a card is sent from the opponent's field to the bind zone, field to bind zone or what?
When opponent retired.
Or can't retire. Or when your opponent units get retired, you can, once per turn, you can retire additional unit and it gains a 2k power. This card is
Bind
bind additional unit. Okay, bind additional unit. Sorry. So skill is when your opponent's unit get retired, you can bind an additional unit. So it helps you go to your Thunder Strike even faster. So it's a very good card. This one must play at 4, right? This one must play at 4, and it gives us 2k power. So it's a 9k booster. To any unit. So it's very good. So next up, 4 copies of G Perfect Guards. G Perfect Guards is very important because this deck kind of similar to Royal Paladin deck. You use a lot of Counter Blast. So unflip 1 when you Perfect Guard, and its art is actually very nice. So play 4. 4 Strike Helpers. This deck focuses on riding this. So in order to make sure you ride this, you can always call this a Regard, and you can search your deck for a Vanquisher and add it to your hand by discarding a great tree. Discarding any card. So good. So you basically cycles a great tree. When this unit attacks, it gains a 4k power. Yeah. Is it also the second effect more?
Only can attack that.
Only attack that. Okay, this card only attack the Vanguard. So it's a very good card because it still is like 5k guard as a great one. It's basically a 10k K clone. Yeah. And 1 copy of Twitter Run because in case the opponent play Great Lock, it actually happens in tournaments sometimes. 7C is a thing now, so you have to play it. Alright, so let's go on to the Great Zeros. Great Zeros, we play 4 copies of the quick triggers for Vanquisher. So when your Vanquisher Vanguard attacks, it can go to the soul, you can draw 1 card and the Vanguard gains 5k power. So it's very important. 2 copies of Genie. Genie basically activate Counter Blast. Sorry, that's Counter Blast. It goes to the soul and select 1 unit gets a 3k power. So Margo clone, very good. In case you need fixed magic numbers. So what this trigger does?
When a unit die, then put on top of that, counter charge 1, draw 1, shuffle 1.
When your opponent's unit die, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When your opponent unit get retired, you can shuffle it back to the deck and you can draw 1 card, counter charge 1. So it's very good. Yeah, it's actually very good because it actually replaces itself. Counter charge. It's free counter charge. Very good. And stand triggers is very good in this deck because you're powering a Regard, so more attacks means more pluses since you like easily gain plus 10k for each of your Regards. This Genie does what?
On cost you choose 1 unit, pump 3k. The unit on hit, bind 1, opponent choose 1 bind.
Okay, so when this card is called the Regard Circle, select unit plus 3k and Thunder Strike 1. So when that unit attack hits the Vanguard, your opponent must select 1 card in their drop zone and send to bind zone. Yeah, so it's very good. Next is 4 copy of Heal Trigger because G Guardians, you gotta play them. And finally we have the starter. Basically this starter is like a dragon, cute dragon thing. So basically when this card is Sunstrike 1, it gains us 2k power, is it?
Yeah.
So it's a very good card because it not only has 1 skill, it has 2 skill. So 1 on the field, if you're Thunderstrike 1, which is like first strike onwards, it gets us 2k power. It's a 7k booster, very good to put behind your 9ks as well. And second skill is we can retire this card. When your opponent unit get retired, you can retire him and you can retire another unit. Your opponent chooses 1 unit and retire it and send it to the bind zone. More cards to the bind zone, very good. Alright, that is the Great Zeros. Let's go on to the Strides. The brand new Stride, Vmax. One of the key cards in the deck. A lot of people die to Vmax because of how it is able to deal 1 damage straight away without even have to attack, without even attacking. So its skill is GB3, count +2. At the end of the battle, this unit attacks the Vanguard. If your opponent has no front row, right?
No unit,
no rear guard.
No rear guards, okay. If your opponent has no more rear guards, you can deal 1 damage. You can actually use this skill when your opponent has 5 damage for instant death. And how do you use the skill, you ask? You have to use a second skill. When this unit attacks the Vanguard, for each G zone face up voltage, you can attack 1 unit. So basically, if you have 4 face up, you retire 4, right? Attack 4, and including Vanguard.
Yes.
So attack 5. So basically, if your opponent doesn't have if you have 1 open circle, he's basically dead because you attack everything. Most likely, your opponent won't be able to cut everything because it's a stride, which is huge. Yeah. So most likely, that's how you're going to get your win con, which is a count +2 and deal 1 damage. So it's very good. Then your opponent has 5 and you have 4 voltage face up, finish him off. Huh? Yeah, count +2. I said. Okay. Count +2. So next is Vanquisher. Oh, this is what is this? Conqueror. Conquest. Yeah, Conquest Dragon. Conquest is activate, flip a copy yourself face up, and if you have 2 units face up in the G zone, select one of your opponent's front row and retire it.
Right.
And your front row gives us 5k for each empty circle, right? So easy 10k front row, very good. That's why stand triggers are amazing in this deck. 2 copies of these. Basically, it's your first strides. When this unit attack hits the Vanguard, you can your opponent select one and you can send 2 from the drop zone to the bind zone.
Yeah.
So very good. So basically, all this on early game on hit cards are great because high chance your opponent the first strike won't even guard. Now this is he played 1 copy of tech, just in case your opponent has a full field. Very good card. This basically Thunder Strike 3. When this unit attacks the Vanguard, it gives us 10k power and a skill. Count blast 1 at it. For each card in the opponent's bind for every 2 cards in your opponent's bind zone, you can retire 1 unit. At the end of battle.
At the end of this unit.
Or at this end of this battle, so you can at the end of battle count blast 1 for each card in your opponent's bind zone. So if your opponent has like 10 bind zone, which is very easy, you can retire the whole field at cost of 1 count blast and bind them.
Yes.
Wow! So it becomes like 15 cards.
15 cards.
Oh, that's like almost game. So 1 copy of Sabris because Great 1 Rush and Salty Seas.
Yeah.
Salty Seas.
Salty
I hate Salty Seas. Alright, so this one is one of the best G Guardians I've actually seen. Basically, Thunder Strike 3, which is very easy. When this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, it basically a 25k shield instantly. And the second skill is, if your opponent has 4 more cards.
4 bind zone.
4 cards in the bind zone, and you can select one of your opponent's rested unit and retire it. Front row. Or front row retire. So basically, you must attack with your 1 rear guard first, then Vanguard attack hit. You can just retire that thing. Wow, that's damn good.
And Vanguard use the steel gain 3k 1 crit.
3k 1. Oh yeah. So it basically, Vanquisher.
You can buy another one.
Yeah, because it gets retired. So basically, it becomes a 14k cross right. It's better than cross right. So yeah. It's a very good card. It's because it doesn't have any cost at all. Even my Brave one, right, you still need to have Soul Blast 1. This one doesn't need Soul Blast, which is very good. Now, 1 copy of this in case against other Vmaxes, because you need to really protect 1 rear guard, otherwise you're dead. Yeah, basically when this unit is based on Guardian Circle, select 1 other unit control and the unit cannot be retired or selected for card effects. So yeah, very good card. Now this is our basic one. Thunder Strike 1 is a 20k shield, so you usually use it early game when your opponent doesn't have so much Thunder Strike 3. So yeah, 20k shield instant, very good. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoy my friend deck profile or my friend Colin's deck profile on his awesome Narukami deck. Be sure to add me on Facebook and subscribe to my channel. Peace out and love you guys. Rawr.